Chapter 1. The Arrival. As the heavy cell doors creaked open, Marcus felt a wave of uncertainty wash over him. The sterile smell of concrete mingled with the faint scent of despair, a stark reminder of where he was. He clutched his diary tightly, a fragile lifeline amidst the chaos. Every clang of metal reverberated in his chest, echoing his mounting fears. Alone in a sea of unfamiliar faces, he struggled to find his place among the inmates, each one a reminder of choices he never thought he'd make. The guards' booming voices cut through the whispers of anxious conversations, an omnipresent force establishing order in the turmoil. As he jotted down his thoughts, he became acutely aware of the unspoken rules and silent vulnerabilities that permeated the facility. Through Marcus's eyes, the harsh realities of prison life unfolded, leaving him to grapple with the shadows of his past and the uncertain journey ahead. Chapter 2. The New Normal. As Marcus settles into the daily rhythms of Oakwood Correctional Facility, he begins to navigate the unspoken rules that define life behind bars. In his diary, he reflects on the routine that becomes his new normal, a cycle of meals, work assignments, and the strict schedules enforced by the guards. While initially overwhelming, this structure also offers a sense of stability amidst chaos. He observes the social hierarchies that emerge within the inmate population, noting how alliances are formed and rivalries ignited. Coping mechanisms surface as he learns to adapt. He finds solace in small moments, sharing food during lunch and exchanging nods with others. The ambient sounds of clanging metal and distant conversations create a rhythmic backdrop, symbolizing both the oppressive environment and the small victories of everyday survival. Through these entries, Marcus begins to see glimmers of hope and resilience within the cracks of his reality. Chapter 3. The Bonds We Forge. Lila. As I step onto the prison yard each day, I'm struck by the unexpected friendships that bloom amidst these gray walls. Our laughter rings like music, a stark contrast to the harsh reality of our surroundings. In my diary, I write about the warmth of shared stories, how we uplift one another with tales of our pasts, our children, and dreams for moments beyond these bars. Each conversation uncovers vulnerabilities, transformed into bonds of sisterhood that I never anticipated. Together, we form a support system, a patchwork community stitched together by mutual understanding and resilience. Through our struggles, I find strength in our connections, reminding me that even in the darkest places, light can emerge through the power of shared humanity. The soundscape swells with the echoes of laughter, the rhythmic thud of footsteps on concrete, and the intermittent clapping that fills the air with camaraderie, crafting a moment of hope. Chapter 4. Paths to Redemption. Sarah, a woman who turned to crime to escape an abusive relationship, shares her transformative journey through Oakwood's rehabilitation programs. Her diary entries are filled with reflections on the therapeutic process, where she learns to confront her pain and rebuild her sense of self-worth. Sarah describes group therapy sessions that foster a supportive environment where stories of resilience and hope are shared among fellow inmates. In one poignant entry, she recounts a breakthrough moment when vulnerability becomes a catalyst for healing and laughter flows like sunlight through the darkness. The soundscape shifts, blending soft melodies of calm music against the stark backdrop of prison life, emphasizing the duality of her experience. As Sarah navigates this path towards redemption, she embraces education as a tool for empowerment, nurturing dreams of a brighter future. Her narrative serves as a beacon of hope, reminding listeners of the powerful changes that can ignite even in the harshest circumstances. Chapter 5. The Past Haunts. In this chapter, we meet Jamal, whose life story unfolds like a painful tapestry woven from trauma and desperation. Through his diary entries, he confronts the haunting memories of his childhood, moments marked by neglect and the shadows of violence that shaped his identity. Jamal reflects on the choices that led him to commit a serious crime, revealing the desperation that dictated his actions. He describes nights spent in solitary confinement, listening to the echo of his regrets and the relentless ticking of the clock, each tick amplifying his sense of isolation. As he delves into his past, Jamal grapples with feelings of shame and remorse. The ambient soundscape is heavy, filled with echoes of solitary confinement, blending with soft whispers of his innermost fears. In this raw moment, Jamal invites us to understand the weight of his history, urging listeners to consider the complex narratives that often lie behind the faces of those incarcerated. Chapter 6. Facing the Shadows. As Jamal sits in his cell, the weight of his past looms heavily, casting long shadows on his identity. With each diary entry, he confronts the haunting memories of his childhood, moments filled with neglect, hopelessness, and the relentless cycle of despair that shaped his choices. The ticking clock feels like a metronome, counting down his days while echoing the regrets he can't escape. He reflects on pivotal decisions that led him here, recognizing the fragility of his self-worth. "I was just trying to survive," he writes, each word tinged with sorrow. In the recesses of the prison's quiet, his thoughts wrestle with the fear of becoming defined by his mistakes. Ambient sounds of solitary confinement, distant cries, the shuffle of feet, envelop his narrative, creating an atmosphere thick with tension and introspection. In sharing these shadows, Jamal begins to illuminate the complexities of his journey, searching not only for forgiveness, but also for understanding. Chapter 7. Paths to Redemption. In this chapter, we meet Sarah, a woman who found herself in prison after escaping an abusive relationship. Through her diary entries, she details her commitment to transforming her life by engaging deeply with the rehabilitation programs offered at Oakwood. Sarah reflects on her first therapy session, where she hesitated to share her story, fearful of judgment. Yet, the compassionate guidance of her counselor helped her uncover layers of pain and resilience she never knew existed. "The moment I spoke my truth," she writes, "I felt a weight lift. In this space, I was no longer defined by my past, but by my courage to change." Uplifting melodies intertwine with the stark sounds of prison, a reminder of her challenging environment. As Sarah chronicles her journey of self-discovery and healing, she emphasizes the importance of education, support, and hope, illustrating that redemption is not only possible, but a path worth pursuing. Chapter 8. Hope Amidst Adversity. In this chapter, Sarah takes us deeper into the lives of her fellow inmates, individuals who dare to dream despite the walls that confine them. Through her diary, she shares the stories of women like Nina, who found solace in art therapy, and Elena, who embraced education as a pathway toward a new future. Each tale underscores the resilience of the human spirit, highlighting moments when laughter echoed through the yard, piercing through the heaviness of their reality. As Sarah reflects on these inspiring journeys, the ambient soundscape blends uplifting melodies with the ever-present hum of prison life. The gentle clinks of metal and distant conversations create an atmosphere of warmth and hope. Despite the adversity they face, these women support one another, proving that friendship can bloom even in the darkest of places. It's a testament to their strength, reminding us that hope can thrive in the most unexpected circumstances. Chapter 9. Learning to Heal. In her diary entry, Sarah opens up about her sessions in the transformative therapy program, where she delves deeply into her traumas and learns to confront her past. "It's not just about talking," she writes. "It's about peeling back the layers of pain I've carried for so long." Through guided discussions and expressive arts, Sarah discovers the power of vulnerability and the importance of sharing her story with others who understand her struggles. The ambient sounds of soft chatter and soothing music create an intimate setting where healing begins to take root. She recalls a pivotal moment when a fellow inmate shares a heartbreaking memory, prompting others to open up. "In that circle," Sarah reflects, "we found not just comfort, but a sense of belonging." As she pens her thoughts, she feels a renewed sense of hope and self-worth, recognizing that healing is a shared journey, and the bonds formed within that space ignite her desire for a brighter future. Chapter 10. The Exit. As the day of my release approaches, a whirlwind of emotions grips me. The thought of stepping outside these concrete walls, breathing fresh air, and feeling the warmth of the sun feels surreal. In my diary, I write about the mixed excitement and anxiety swirling inside me. I imagine the bustling streets, the laughter of children, and the overwhelming freedom that awaits. Yet I'm also haunted by the uncertainty of reintegrating into a world that's moved on without me. I reflect on the lessons learned within these walls, knowing that my past is a part of me but does not define me. The echoes of my fellow inmates still resonate in my heart, reminding me of the bonds formed here. The ambient sounds around me, voices murmuring in the background, footsteps on the hard floor, are a reminder that tomorrow, the life I've yearned for begins. It's a moment filled with hope and trepidation, a chance at a fresh start. Chapter 11. Reintegration Struggles. As Aaron prepares to leave the confines of Oakwood Correctional Facility, the weight of anticipation hangs heavily in the air. In his diary, he expresses a whirlwind of emotions, excitement for the freedom that awaits him, and anxiety about stepping back into a world that feels distant, yet familiar. He reflects on the societal stigma that greets ex-inmates, recounting stories of friends and family who struggle to see their pasts as mere chapters in a larger narrative. Aaron discusses the challenge of finding stable employment and reconnecting with loved ones, fearing judgment and rejection. The soundscape evokes the bustling city life outside, a cacophony of honking cars and vibrant chatter, starkly contrasting the quiet solitude of his cell. With each entry, Aaron examines the importance of support systems in his journey, reminding listeners that success hinges not only on individual resilience, but also on the compassion of those around him. Chapter 12. Choices and Consequences. As Aaron reflects on his journey, he confronts the critical decisions that have shaped his life behind bars. In his diary, he writes about his commitment to breaking the cycle of incarceration, understanding that each choice carries weight. Every day is a crossroads, he muses, and the path I choose now will determine my future. He shares anecdotes of fellow inmates who have faced similar struggles, emphasizing the importance of community support while navigating their reintegration into society. Against a layered soundscape of bustling city life mixed with contemplative music, Aaron discusses the challenges of shedding the stigma of being an ex-convict. People see a label, not a person, he notes with frustration. Yet he clings to hope, highlighting programs and mentors that offer guidance as he prepares for life outside. This chapter combines Aaron's insights with the broader theme of accountability, resonating with the urgent message that choices matter more than ever. Chapter 13. In this chapter, inmates gather for a rare moment of unity, each reflecting on the profound meaning of freedom and the second chances they hope to embrace. Marcus begins by sharing how confinement has reshaped his understanding of liberty, stating, "Freedom isn't just about leaving these walls, it's about being free in your mind and heart." Lila echoes this sentiment, speaking of the sisterhood forged within the prison's confines. "We've carried each other's burdens, that's a type of freedom too." Jamal, with a heavy sigh, acknowledges the challenges that lie ahead. "I want to step into the world anew, but history haunts me." Their voices blend with ambient sounds of laughter, the flutter of bird wings, and the creaking of open doors, embodying hope. This collective contemplation encapsulates the essence of their journey, reminding them that while their pasts are entwined with shackles, their futures can be as boundless as the sky.